Boston is known as the Cradle of Liberty due to its role in the American Revolution. To commemorate this, a historic tour of the city has been set up in downtown Boston. It is called the Freedom Trail.
Well, come along, let's take it.
One Saturday morning, I went on this trail with a group of tourists.
Back before, when you didn't have anything like electricity, if you wanted to make some music, you made it yourself. You get your beat going, you see like that there, and then you can A, I, O, I, O, well.
This corny historian, dressed in 17th century patriot garb, was the guide of my group.
Taking you back into time, back to 1630. That's about 400 years ago. This is what it is today, the Boston Common, 1630.
One of the sights the guide showed us was the granary burial ground.
This is the granary burial ground. It's called granary because that's what was next to it. It's called burial ground because it's not a cemetery.
This here is the grave of Paul Revere. John Hancock and Sam Adams are also buried here. Boston thus turned out to be what I had been told it would, a place rich in history and culture. So this here is Beacon Hill, home of the Massachusetts State House. Among its notable residents were John Hancock, sign of the Declaration of Independence, and Michael Crichton, author of Jurassic Park and the TV show ER. It was also a center of the anti-slavery movement. As I visited these old sites on the Freedom Trail, my infatuation with the Beantown has turned into a full-fledged love affair. The Boston Latin School, the first public school in the US, stood here at Old City Hall between 1704 and 1748. Founding fathers John Hancock, Sam Adams, and Benjamin Franklin were all pupils at this school. The school also produced the first cohort of students at Harvard University. Standing behind me is a statue of Benjamin Franklin. Ben Franklin was an accomplished scientist, philosopher, and statesman. Franklin was one of the Sons of Liberty of the American Revolution. Born in Boston, he migrated to Philadelphia, where he rose quickly to the highest social, intellectual, and political circles. This he did through joining a lodge of the Freemasons. So how can I be like one of these great men? How can I be like John Hancock, Paul Revere, Sam Adams, or Ben Franklin? What did they have in common that I can tap into? Aha, I found it. They were all Freemasons.
Time is to tell the secrets of Freemasonry.
I had been in Boston barely 2 months when this ad ran on local television. You see, I had heard about the Freemasons since I was in my late teens, and something about what I heard drew me to them. True, there were stories about there being a conspiracy cult that wanted to take over the world, but in general, the image of them I had formed in my mind was that of greatness. It was that of high achievers. I remember telling some friends of mine that I would love to join the Masons, but whenever I broached the subject, I was told that I could do that only through invitation. They were a secret society, I was told. You have to be doing exceptionally well for them to notice you and invite you to join their fraternity. My dream thus remained inchoate, and I almost gave up on it. Then I come to Boston, and an ad runs on TV inviting anyone to just ask. Could it be that simple? Was all I needed to do to become a Freemason ask? Well, I decided to try. I visited the advertised website, askafreemason.org, and contacted the Grand Lodge of Masons of Massachusetts. I did what Ben Franklin said in the TV ad. I asked a Freemason about becoming one of them. Located at 186 Tremont Street, the Grand Lodge of Masons of Massachusetts is a building that represents a time when architecture was ornate and grandiose. The interior decor is as inspiring as the Masons themselves. So, what does it require to become a Mason? My first contact was Robert Hugh of the Grand Lodge.
Eligibility for becoming a Mason in Massachusetts is dependent upon being an adult male over the age of 18.
To apply to a lodge in Mass, there are 3 things that are required of me. First, I have to have resided in the state for a minimum of 6 months. Next, I needed to be a man over the age of 18. And finally, I needed to have a belief in a supreme being. Happily, I met all these requirements. During the course of my research, I came across a branch of Masonry called Prince Hall Freemasonry right here in Massachusetts.
Prince Hall Grand Lodge in Dorchester is an independent Grand Lodge similar to the Grand Lodge in Massachusetts as an independent Grand Lodge.
What does it mean to be a Prince Hall Freemason?
Prince Hall Masonry, which was organized in Massachusetts, is traditionally African American.
Does one have to be African American to be a member of Prince Hall?
There's no requirement that you have to be an African American. In fact, there are a number of military lodges overseas that are chartered by various Prince Hall Grand Lodges, and again, the members of those military lodges can represent all races.
Having learned all this about Prince Hall Masonry, I decided there was no need for me to go all the way to Dorchester just to find a lodge. I like the Grand Lodge building, which is also very accessible to me. I thus chose a lodge within this magnificent building. My other contact was Nathan Ulrich of the Joseph Webb Lodge. Why did he join the Masons?
I really joined because I wanted to be part of a community. I come from Texas, from a small family, and having come to Boston, for schooling, it was an opportunity to meet people who I would never have met in my entire life.
What is it that Masons do? Well, basically, they are a group of men bound together by three basic principles. These are truth, brotherly love, and relief. Truth means that they learn from each other and from those who have gone before about how to be better men. Brotherly love means they have regular meetings in their lodges where they eat and drink and have fun together. And relief means charity. In America alone, Freemasons give $3 million to charity every day. Among the charities supported by Freemasons are the Shriners Hospitals for Children. Here in Mass, there are two of these, one in Boston and another in Springfield. I caught up with the family of a beautiful girl who was receiving a prosthesis for her left leg.
Quítate la cosa de cuello para que
¿Cómo viste que él habló ahora mismo? Eso es ahí la guata que está ahí.
Eso es así
es
porque
nuevo.
eso está nuevo. Ve. ¿Tú ves? ¿Otra vez?
No.
No hay comida. Tiene que...
What happened to her?
It was born fine. But the doctor that did the C-section, he messed up. It was a new doctor in the ER, so he messed up and he cut right over here where I would say right above here, and the leg got bad, so they had to cut it. It was right here. This leg, but right here.
El problema estaba en las rodillas, le cortaron más arriba.
So they had to amputate her up to here because, it was dark and it was bad all the way up to here. So they had to amputate, and then they took it up to here so she wouldn't have any issues because she was going to lose her whole leg. So they didn't want her to lose her whole leg, so they amputated right up here.
This patient was seen at an outreach clinic in Santo Domingo when she was younger. Our doctors from the Shriners Hospital here in Springfield travel to Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, once a year to look at prospective patients who have orthopedic injuries and to do follow-up on existing patients who are already being treated at the hospital. So what they do, the child...
But who are the Shriners?
For treatment...
Well, a Shriner in this day and age right now is a person who gets involved with an organization, fraternal organization, with the intent of going out and have some fun, camaraderie, friendship, fellowship. Understanding that you're from Kenya, and I would like to offer you an opportunity to become a Mason down there if they have a lodge and also a Shriner. I'm sure they told you if you believe in a supreme being you can join.
Yeah.
If you're of age too, which it appears that you are.
I sure am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wow, it is that simple after all. the Masons do want me to join the fraternity. After all these years, my dream is within my grasp. I can become a part of that great heritage that boasts among its members the founding fathers and other heroic men. So here I am, filling out my application to become a Mason. I was made to understand that the process may take up to 1 year before I am fully accepted into a lodge. That may seem like a long time, but it's nothing compared to how long it has taken to get here. And anyway, it makes sense. The fraternity makes it clear that their aim is to make good men better. To make sure the men who join their ranks are good, they have to conduct an extensive check into their lives. I agree wholeheartedly with Socrates that the more examined a life is, the more worth living it becomes. So, whatever the result of that check into my character will be, I look forward to it.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.